see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Friday, March 1st, 2024, and this is episode 645 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled I Saw It on TikTok, and I'll be chatting about the best stories from this week from my TikTok. Whoo, we got some stuff to dig into, but first let's see who's hanging out in the live chat. Talk to the coffee crew, grab that cup of coffee and roll into this hour of fun. Good morning. Rachel in first. Hey, how we doing, Rachel? So it's like it's like I haven't talked to you for like 3 minutes from the Telegram chat. Good morning, Pip. Happy Friday to you. Friday, everyone. Jen G, thanks for hanging out again this morning. I have a special treat for you this morning. Since you're new, One Take Records, check your DMs on Telegram, man. Check your DMs on Telegram. Good morning, Hunter, hanging out over on Twitch, holding down the fort over there like always, and Canadian Farmstead. Good morning. How is everybody today? What is in the cup? Well, had a little bit of divine intervention again this morning with the coffee brewing. I told the other day how I was going to roll back to that hectare of the light Colombian, and my Tanzanian peaberry came flying out of the cupboard right into my hand. Double drop today, and we got a mix of the hectare light Colombian and the Tanzanian light peaberry. So very nice mix for faux show. Man, let's just let's talk about the Pip says that the ducks, if you haven't noticed my ducks here, I got my ducks in a row. Oh man, they got all moved. I must have they're not on the screen anymore. Huh. I got all my ducks up there on my counter, and Pip is saying that he says the ducks are causing this coffee chaos in my life, but I'm kind of going with it, guys. I'm kind of going with what rolls lately, and when the shit falls out of the cupboard and lands in my hands, I think it's time to drink it up. It's either time to drink it up because it's too full, the cupboard's too full, and they're falling out, or something's telling me that's what I'm supposed to drink. If it's the ducks, it's the ducks. If it's the ducks, it's the ducks. So yeah, we'll see. Jen G says she loves the ducks. Oh man, you should have been at Self-Reliance Festival last fall. Mr. Pippin had bags and bags and bags of ducks. He had so many ducks. He was sending them home with people because he couldn't bear to bring all the ducks back to Florida. So if you haven't I guess we probably haven't mentioned it since you've been around, Jen. Pip and some friends spun up this little product called the Duction Cup, and the Duction Cup basically goes. I don't think I have one. Oh yeah, here we go. The Duction Cup basically goes in the bottom of the duck, and that way the Jeepers that are doing the duck Jeep thing can stick them to their Duction Cup board that they install on their dash. They can stick them to a window. They can stick them wherever. Stick them for wherever. Oh boy, guys. Oh boy. We have a message over there on Twitch. Let's bring this up and see what's going on over on Twitch. Hunter definitely not doing his job. Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, views, chat bot, etc. The price is lower than any competitor. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Flexible and convenient order management panel. chat panel. Everything is in your hands. A huge number of custom settings. Go to Streamrise. Hunter's mad he's not a mod over there. I don't even know how to do that, man. I don't even have the slightest clue. I don't know if I can log into Twitch. I set it up so long ago, I haven't been there. I don't even know if I can log in. I would never stop streaming there just because you're there and you're there. But yeah, it is what it is. Reweiler Life adding the mushrooms to her coffee today. Have a good trip. Oh, I have some Seven Sisters, or is it Seven Sisters? Seven Sisters up in the cupboard. I think it's Seven Sisters. Anyway, Jen, those are the Duction Cups. You can find those at ductioncups.com. Or you can go to my website, thelotsproject.com, and if you look on the ads on the side, if you're on desktop, or if you scroll all the way to the bottom, if you're on mobile, there is a little picture of a Duction Cup. You can click on that and head on over to the website and pick up whatever you want. It's okay, Hunter. It was a drive-by, I'm sure. It was just a drive-by spamming. I don't think he hung around. Wired Edge Workshop, good morning. You said you're new to the live stream and don't drink coffee. I hope that's okay. Yeah, I mean, we're equal opportunity morning people around here. We are equal opportunity morning people. Do you drink any sort of morning beverage? Are you a tea person? Are you a milkshake person? Maybe a soda? Water is always good. Thanks for tripping. Rewilder Life says medicinal, not trippy, as I'm starting to say that. And I said, thanks for tripping with us. Thanks for joining the live stream. I appreciate it. Where did you find things? Water or chocolate milk? That sounds fantastic. Water is the source of life. Water is the source. One Take Record says Monster Energy drinks, but Kyle isn't here. Oh, you're in Wisconsin. I was in Minneapolis or in Minnesota for 20 years until we couldn't handle the cold anymore and we decided to get the hell out. And now we're down in Tennessee hanging out in our RV. We were traveling pretty consistently. Now we're kind of sitting down for a little bit and might put some roots here and then move around and develop in other places. But Minnesota was no longer for me. So anyway, I promised Gen G something new. Oh, real quick before I do that, it's March 1st. I have 10 free membership subs available to give away. And if we remember last month when I hit it, it just randomly gives them away. So I'm going to hit that twice. I got 10 to give away. I'll give away 5 at a time. I'm going to hit that, see what happens here. Hey, Rewilder Life Jim, Mike's Homestead. Holy crap, some people that actually watch. Ha, sweet. Oh, let's see if I can do that again. Oh, look at this. This is fantastic. Let's give away some more. See the Canadian Farmstead. Look at this. Oh boy. Congratulations for the people that actually hang out every day, that YouTube recognized your commitment to the show and actually gifted you a membership. Perfect. Oh, giveaway Friday when it ends on, or it happens on the 1st of the month. But I promised Gen G something special this morning since she's new this week, and Corey and I realized yesterday when we were on our walk after the show, we were talking, and I was like, "Oh, I got to talk about Little Armored One again." And she's like, "Yeah, I bet there's people that are watching that have no idea what Little Armored One is." I mean, if they went back and listened to that many back episodes, I guess, but that was oh man, when was that, Corey? Last June? Maybe June, maybe May. Little Armored One. Jen, I'm going to tell you a brief consolidated recap on what the Little Armored One is. Corey, and kind of waiting on Kyle to show up too for TikTok morning, but I'm guessing he's sleeping in. Little Armored One, my wife likes animals. Like any animal. All animals. We recently switched up our layout in our camper, but when we first got here and for the first year we traveled, we both worked in the main room, like in the slide, and she got to look out the big window in the camper. You know how they have the big slide window? Her office, her computer sat on the table, and she looked out the big window, and she watched the neighbors' dogs, she watched their chickens, she watched their guineas, she watched all the animals all day, she watched all the people go by, she knew everything about the neighborhood. she actually went through withdrawals when we moved her into the back room, and she had to look out the back of the camper because there wasn't any action over there. Anyway, rewind to May or June. We were in the camper. Were we in bed already when we heard the thud? It was dark. We heard a thud out by the road, and Corey was beside herself, thinking that it was the neighbor's dog. They have a little dachshund that we call Little Wiener. They have a dog that comes over here and poops in our yard that we call Secret Pooper. We don't know their actual names, but Little Wiener and Secret Pooper like to go near the road. Their chickens and their guineas were always near the road, so Corey was thinking it was something that she really loved. In entered the Little Armored One. What actually got hit by a car was an armadillo. We had started seeing armadillos when we traveled to the south. It isn't anything that we ever had in Minnesota, and we were intrigued by them when we started seeing them in Tennessee. We saw them in Texas. Corey really likes them. She thinks they're cute. She wants a tattoo of one now. But when we saw the Little Armored One, we saw the armadillo out in the road. She was like, "Oh," for about 5 hours. Until the vultures came and started picking away at the armadillo. The cars went by and ran over the armadillo. And this was a good week, I believe, worth of content for the show. I think it must have been a week where we talked about the armadillo. Actually, one night, Corey had me looking up armadillo facts, and we shared those on the show. We learned that the name armadillo actually translates into Little Armored One. So that's the Little Armored One. Corey really likes armadillos now. So if I reference the Little Armored One at some point in the future, there is another recap. You won't have to go all the way back to May to find that out. So Jen, that is your recap of the Little Armored One that I mentioned the other day. And yes, my wife is a good gal for loving animals. She loves all animals. I told her, I said, how messed up is it that you love animals and then you watch them, you interact with them, you talk to them, and then when one dies, you partake in watching them get ripped apart and eaten. She's like, that's because I love the vultures too. They're animals. Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Look, I got starred messages that I didn't starred telling me that I gave away memberships. How about that? Let's get into, I saw it on TikTok. I saw it on TikTok. So with last week, it's the circle of life, Hunter. Yes, it is. If you would like me to sing The Circle of Life, I can. I haven't been practicing my Elton John lately, so is that who sung that in Lion King? Corey says I'm right. I'm right. I don't care what you guys say. So last week we had a few episodes in a row there where we talked about some things I was seeing on TikTok. A lot of times it's when I go to do laundry. It's kind of I always have the best intentions of when I go do laundry and want to get some work done. It's always distracting at the laundromat. It's always not like it's enough time to get started on something, but not not enough time to really dive in and get something completed, especially if I have to pack everything up to take it with me. It is what it is. I have best intentions when I get there, but I usually end up watching TikTok and sending Kyle and my wife a bunch of TikToks that are funny or animals or whatever. So last week I had some bangers come up while I was watching, and as I went down the conspiracy trail on TikTok, you know, the algorithm just keeps feeding you the same type of content. And the more you watch it, the more they feed it. So talked about it, and you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm throwing it out here. I don't necessarily believe all this shit. I just watch. I watch and observe and listen, and I'll bring you the news that may be news and it might not be news. Anyway, again this week I sat at laundry on Wednesday and started watching TikToks, and it didn't disappoint. So I started saving some. I watched a little bit more yesterday, started saving some, and I'm going to share with you what I learned on TikTok this week. Anybody want to guess what the first topic's going to be from TikTok this week? Pour myself a little extra coffee here. Whew. Get the list. To the list. We talked about the little armored one. Yesterday, we talked about the calendar. We talked about the 13-month calendar and why it makes so much more sense. And in doing a little prep for that, there were TikToks. I did a little TikTok search. I figured there was going to be some solid... Jen asked if that's a Duction cup on my mug. Yeah, that's Plugsy. That is Plugsy. Plugsy's been there for, a long time. It's got to be... Plugsy's been on my cup. It's got to be going on a year, and that is my buddy Toolman Tim's workshop. If you haven't checked that out, he's a solid content creator for sure. Plugsy. So when I was digging into the 13-month calendar, that got in my feed, and yesterday, might have been laundry day. Up popped one that was... No, it would have been yesterday after the show. Wired Edge Workshop, Toolman Tim's why I'm here. Awesome. I appreciate that. I'll be sure to let him know, and thanks for supporting him too. So the 13-month calendar is just like blowing my thing up, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's not going to happen. It's kind of like anarchism. Once you realize that it's the only way that will really truly work, but you realize that it's never going to happen in your lifetime, you're like, meh. Figure out how to get as close as I can. Well, I'm not going to be changing the calendar. So basically, my goal is to not have to worry about the calendar. But in this constant feed of this genre, up pops this video, and this lady is like, we are actually living in the year 1716. And I was hoping it was some sort of time travel thing. I really was. But she went on to explain. Her rationale. I mentioned in passing the Ethiopian calendar yesterday that I believe it's 12 30-day months, and then a 5 or 6 day month depending on the leap year. either way, whether it's a leap year or not, it's 5 days or 6 days, and that makes your 365 days. 12 times 30, 360. You got your 5, you got your 6, whatever. So she flipped to an interview with a guy over in Ethiopia, and he's like, well, what year is it? What year is it? And they're like 7 years behind because they adopted their calendar. I want to say it was like 446 BC. I think it was like 46 BC. So longer than the Julian and the Gregorian calendar. And so they rolled on it. And I believe that the Ethiopian calendar is the only other calendar currently used in the world besides the Gregorian calendar that we use. So that sets us back 7 years. This lady dug in. She feels that the Ethiopian calendar is the most accurate and most viable model. So she says, by that theory, we're in like 2016. Maybe it was 8 years, 7.5 years. It's like right in there. It takes us to 2016. And I'm like, okay, I suppose I can follow this. I'm good with this. Ethiopian calendar is just another way to tell time and extrapolate it out. Well, then she went into how we're getting to 1716. Her theory, and this isn't her theory, it sounds like in the 90s, some German historians came up with this. They propose that Roman Emperor Otto III in the 600s AD was obsessed with the millennium, was obsessed with the year 1000. Felt that the Christian millennium was some magical time. And he felt that as the emperor, he should be living in the year 1000. So he got together with the Pope, and he got together with someone else. It was the Pope, it was the emperor, and someone else. I can't remember. Sorry. I only had the Pope and it's Sebastian. They decided they were going to add 300 years to the calendar. They're just going to backdate it a little bit. We're gonna charge people with we're going to have them make up 300 years of history. In this time period is Charlemagne. So they're saying that Charlemagne was probably made up. This is what the German historians saying. Don't take this for fact. But yeah, so they just kind of made up 300 years and put it in the book and said, well, now it's going to be the year 1000, so he can be emperor in the year 1000. Fuck it all. And we're just going to make it up. And their theory behind this was really interesting, is there was nothing that happened of significance in those 300 years. Nothing. No advancements, no wars, no disease, no plague, no nothing. For 300 years. The only things that were there were stuff that were written in one book from one perspective, but worldwide, not a whole hell of a lot happened for 300 years. And 300 years, not in the span of history, but in the span of, hey, maybe something happened. I don't know. Sounds like Chinese astronomers have blown this out of the water, using astronomy and eclipses and backdating eclipses. And they're saying, no, we've recorded eclipses from that time period. So they didn't make it up. I'm just wondering if the emperor or the Pope sent someone over to China and said, hey, could you throw a solar eclipse in there for us? Could you throw something in there for us? Rewilder Life says, history. Is there a reason the word is his story? So many lies. let's just make up the, I don't think we really like it to be the year 2024. I think we should just make up 6 years. I want to be in 2030, guys. So I think we need to, I think we need to make up 6 years worth of history and put it in the books. Who do I talk to get this to 2030? Who do I talk to? I don't know. So that was a little continuation on the calendar topic from yesterday. Now we'll move on to something really interesting. Guys, do you guys know what's going on in Texas? You guys know what's going on in Texas right now? Hey, Backwoods, how we doing? Texas is on fire. Texas is on fire. Not at the border. We all think about the border when we say Texas. Oh, we got a border crisis. We got hundreds and thousands of people just spilling into the United States across the southern border. We have TV cameras focused right on the gates, in the open gates where they're protecting, and they're putting up the barbed wire, and the government's coming and taking down the barbed wire. And then I saw some dude take his ATV down the road like 2 miles, and the shit is wide open. The shit is wide open. But we're not going to talk about the border today, guys. We're not talking about the border today. Backwoods says, "Oh, Texas 15-minute cities." Guys, up in the panhandle of Texas, right there near Amarillo, not armadillo, Amarillo. There is a huge wildfire going on. Huge. Absolutely enormous. Absolutely enormous. Kind of like the biggest wildfire in the history of the United States. 1.8 million acres or something the last time I checked. 1.8 million acres. Because it's so dry and the winds are blowing so hard, we were consuming over 2 football fields a second. Really hot. Really, really hot fire. Spreading like almost like wildfire. So Canadian Farm says grab some blue paint. Guys, here's something that you might find curious. There may or may have not been just an updated plan in Amarillo, Texas, and there is also Kyle, you missed the little Armor 1 recap this morning. So it turns out that I think it's Canadian. I want to say it's Canadian Texas. The guy that was explaining it was a little excited about the story. He was very, very excited. Very, very animated. And yeah, Canadian Texas. Outside of Amarillo. What? Hold on a second, guys. Year calendar flat earth makes no difference. I hear flat earthers say it would prove that the powers that be have been lying to us, and people haven't realized that. Yeah, they never will. Yeah, I mean, in the course of history, is the calendar going to make a difference? In the course of my life history, in the time that I'm here, is the calendar going to make a fucking difference? I don't care anymore. I'm over it. I'm going to live. My goal is to live without a calendar, to get to a time where I don't need time or a date. That would be perfect. Really hard, but perfect. Anyway, Canadian Texas, right near Amarillo, Texas. And there's some really interesting documents that have kind of popped up since this fire popped off that are very similar to changes in documents that we've seen in Lahaina I believe is how you say it, that Hawaiian place that kind of blew up and burned. There's a place in Chile that recently had some weird fires going on. Chris Dixon says, well, I'll get there. We all will. I said live without worrying about time or a clock. So these documents are talking about what Kyle mentioned, 15-minute cities, smart cities, that we're going to need to put in the infrastructure. We're going to need the land to do this. We're going to need to get the land from some guys out in the panhandle of Texas. They're probably like, yeah, go fuck yourself. But man, if we burn the shit and it's useless, maybe they'll give it to us and we can make our little smart city. Recently updated in Amarillo and Canadian Texas is the plans for their 2040 end date smart city, 15-minute city. I don't know. There was something else going on with this fire too that sparked this guy's attention. I was trying to follow him, guys. You guys think that I'm all over the place? This dude was like, he's like, and there's a nuclear facility that they shut down, and that's the only nuclear weapons facility where they make and take apart nuclear weapons in the whole United States, and they had to shut it down, and it's gonna burn, and it's gonna blow up. And I was like, holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Oh God. So he was talking about this the nuclear facility. It's not a nuclear power plant. He said nuclear power plant. I was like, I don't know about that. And I looked it up, and basically it's the facility in the United States where they take nuclear weapons and they put them together, or they disassemble them and dispose of the plutonium in them, or uranium, or whatever they're using these days. One Take Record says Smart City could be fun or a terror. What if it was like an Ewok village? I'm guessing it's not going to be like an Ewok village. Just a guess. AT&T has a $40 billion contract to lay the fiber between Canadian and Amarillo, Texas. There's another company that has a huge contract for laying the power grids. There is all sorts of development contracts already issued for the redevelopment of they say the development, I'm saying the redevelopment of the 15-minute city. Man, it would be a shame if they didn't have any place to put it. Man, if we could only come up with an idea of what to do to come up with some land. Blakesley says, sounds like what happened in Hawaii and Chile. And there were several others that he pointed out that we're going down the road of these 15 minutes. And this is all alleged, guys. Like, you need to do your own research. I'm just reporting what I've seen. Mr. CIA handler, FBI handler, you guys can get together. I don't believe any of this shit. I think it probably some trucker just threw a cigarette butt out the window and the wind kicked up and it's really dry and the wind's been blowing for an ungodly speed and amount for a long time, and it just burned up 2 million acres coincidentally where you probably wanted some property to do something that no one wants you to do. Maybe. Wait, what? Oh, One Take Record says, oh, let's talk about Rewiler Life Acid. My eye was twitching. It may have been. I was holding back I was trying to hold back my sarcasm. Kyle says he's so deep into the European farmers' riots, I've barely grazed the wildfire topic. Oh, the European farmers are cracking me up, man. Like, is this on? So, does anybody in the audience? Okay, I have to ask a serious question. Does anybody in the audience watch the news? Does anybody in the audience watch the local news, the evening national news, the CNN, Fox News? I don't give a shit. You're left, you're right, you're in between, you're upside down, both. Do you watch the news? Do you read a newspaper? Hunter says I'm on Twitter. That's not the fucking news, dude. I'm on TikTok. Good morning, John Palmer. Wilder Life says some local radio, no TV. One Take says no. Wilder Life says she's been following the farmers. Canadian Farmstead says I can't remember last time I watched a news program. Genji doesn't watch TV. One Take says just YouTube direct human intel. Okay, so you guys are no fucking use to me. Wired Edge Workshop says I only scroll through my phone. It tells me what I should see. Perfect. Dixon, local newspaper only. Is anybody talking about the European farmers? Is any like nightly news? Is any local news? Is there anybody talking about what's going on in Europe? John Palmer says I'd rather be uninformed than misinformed. Dude, go to TikTok and have fun with it. I told Corey she needs to just keep an eye on me and make sure I don't start believing all this shit. Okay, so it looks like Rewilder said that nobody is talking about this. So what's going on in Europe? I believe it's mainly Paris right now and Brussels. The farmers are super pissed off, and I understand why. They increased tax on diesel. They implemented shitloads of this green objective regulations on farmers. It is like doubling, tripling. I've heard all sorts of different numbers, but it's significantly increasing their costs of production. Fertilizer's gone up. Everything has gone up. Everything has gone up in price, but they're capping crop prices. So basically, they're screwing them without the reach around. They're raising their production costs significantly and not letting them compensate. Their margins are thin already, and they're like, fuck you. We don't do what you told us. Yeah. There's and then there's all sorts of other stuff. There's all sorts of, and like that's the list. The list goes on. So what they're doing, and it's fantastic, they're kind of it's kind of akin to the trucker rally in Canada during COVID. So all these farmers are getting in their tractors, and I think when farmers get pissed off, when like the people that don't watch the news get pissed off, things like that, they got in their tractors. They always talk about, man, you really don't want to upset the right, because when you upset the conservatives, they know how to shoot the guns. Ain't gonna fucking do anything. They're so ingrained in the goddamn dichotomy, it's not gonna happen. But man, you know who does react is the guy that's gonna lose his land, guy that's gonna lose his business, his family business, probably been there for a long time. So they all jumped in their tractors and they headed to the Capitol. If you haven't seen video of this, guys, you got to search some out. Lines and lines of tractors just blocking everything. My favorite is when they bring in the manure spreader, the one that shoots the shit all over the field. And they're like spraying the government buildings with shit. They're lining the outsides of the building with big hay bales. Then they're breaking the hay bales out, spreading them over the streets and lighting them on fire. Farmers know how to fuck shit up. It's just the one way to put it. These guys are relentless. They're pushing the bounds of what's going to get them probably shot and killed, and they probably don't give a shit. Rewiler Life says they've been dumping it inside buildings too. Yeah, I mean, it's just wild. It's wild. The police cars aren't stopping them. Like, they can't. Like, I saw the one, Kyle sent me a video of a dude rolling up in it was a tow truck to remove the tractors and shit that were parked there. And like, as soon as it rolled up, the cops went to protect it. And like, the driver just got out, fucking walked away. He's like, yeah, fuck this. Hey, John, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your views all the time, all the comments, man. It's fantastic to see. Hunter says it's not harvest season, though. What'll happen when harvest season comes up, but they go back and harvest, is that it'll make an impact on they won't. That's what they're saying. They're not, they're done. There's no point. When you get someone to a point that it doesn't matter if they do their job, they just don't do their job, and it doesn't fucking matter who it affects anymore. Like, if you're taking care of your family at $100 profit from your work for the week, and all of a sudden you're making 10 cents, you're like, fuck it. I don't give a shit. What's the point? I'm going to come and burn all my diesel fuel here, and you can piss on the crops. Oh yeah, they're burning up they're letting all the food from Ukraine rot. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Rewilder's Life says this could be bad. Hope you all have some preps, but I support these farmers. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Backwoods says, yeah, they don't have the money right now. They don't have the capital to even plant the field, so there won't really be a harvest. They're saying it doesn't matter. So Canadian says, did you see the video from France where they plowed up the roads? I saw a video from France. I didn't know if they plowed up the roads or if they just came through and dumped dirt on the road, but they were planting in the road in front of one of the buildings. Like, they covered the whole road with dirt and made it thick enough that they were like seeding into the road. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. So that's going on. I saw a lot of that on TikTok. I saw the wildfires in Texas. So if you want to look into that a little bit more, that's something that that's something very interesting. Rewilder Life says it's amazing. Americans have no balls. I concur. Apparently, because Canada and France are doing what we should be. I mean, whatever came of the Canadian stuff. They drove a bunch of trucks to fucking Capitol. It was a big woohoo. Wasn't there a big trucker convoy that was supposed to happen in the U.S. and got everybody fired up about that? Whatever happened to that? I'm not saying anybody should revolt against their government by any means. No, that would be bad. Really bad. Ruler Life says it wasn't much. These farmers are doing way more. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But look what happened on January 6th, Rachel. Dixon says it's nothing. It turned Canadians against each other even more. That's what the Canadian trucker convoy did. It divided lines even more. It did. That's it. Vote harder. Vote harder. Henry Wilder says, go vote these people out. And then she says, vote harder. If you get your people in, it'll go better. It'll go better. So wildfires in Texas, guys, keep an eye on that. Start looking at 15-minute cities, smart cities, shit like that. Jen, if there was an error of sarcasm in my voice, might have been from the voting comment. I don't know. So the wildfires in Texas, keep an eye on any fires. I think anything to do with a smart city or 15-minute city is going to probably be a significant wildfire. These things are going to pop up. Like you can't ignore 1.5 million acres burning. You can't ignore towns being burned to a crisp. Like that has to go. Someone's going to talk about that. So when you see a weird fire pop up, just Google the area, see what's going on. Go to TikTok and watch it on TikTok because that's always accurate and informative. Let's go on down the list here. Oh, Jen's fluent in sarcasm. It's her favorite language. Welcome to the club. You know when you were a kid and you made up separate languages with like your friends to talk in code? That's not sarcasm. Reliance says, is there a weather modification to make these places easy to be crispy? I'm pretty sure it's the space lasers. Don't matter if it's crispy or not. They're just like, it's like a printer. It's like a 3D printer. The thing's just, or a laser engraver. They're like, oh, we need 2.8 acres here. I'm curious, like, how does it stop? How does it just be done? We're done. What was that? The one in Hawaii was like just, and it just stopped. So I don't know. Maybe it's just nature taking its course. Maybe it's just nature because nature said, you guys think you can predict what's going to happen? Yeah, fuck you. Here we go. Buckle up. Next on the list, guys, we talked about the eclipse coming up. And last week we talked about how TikTok sent me down the rabbit hole. Stop by Heroes. Is that what happened in Hawaii? I don't think there were wildfire like smoke jumpers or anything in Hawaii. Didn't it just stop? I don't remember. I didn't dig in too far to that after the craziness. Once all the kids disappeared, I was like, the pedos did it. And I didn't look any further. But for some reason, I feel like there was just a line that it stopped at. By Oprah's house or something. So the eclipse last week sent me down the trail of giants and the eclipse. Backwoods says it hit the ocean and stopped. No shit. You mean the ocean didn't catch on fire? Jesus. No, like Reliable Life Googled it and there's no kids are missing. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm pretty sure there was like a school bus of kids that were just gone at one point. And that was like early actual reports or something. Hunter says the ocean couldn't burn because the ocean's Oprah blue. Oh, Rachel says it is Google. They might be suppressing information over at Google on the Google search, maybe. Anyway, the eclipse is supposedly going to wake up the giants. We talked about that last week. That was intriguing. Where the X marks the spot in the United States, and the coincidental names of the native names of the area, and the giant city park, and all that. We talked about it. That the eclipse is actually the giants' alarm clock, and that the U.S. is using weather manipulation techniques to what was it? Put fog everywhere so the giants can't see the alarm clock or something. I don't know. Backwoods says, are we doing Conspiracy Live tonight or what? I don't know. You have to talk to my wife when I can have an evening to sit and talk to my internet friends about fucking wackadoodle shit. She knows the more I talk about wackadoodle shit, the more I believe it. She doesn't need me any more wackadoodle than I already am. So the government is going to prevent the giants from seeing the alarm clock with the eclipse. This is where I left off last week with my looking into Kyle sending animal pictures, Corey. She wants pigs pictures, Kyle. No horsetails either. So last week's people on TikTok were telling me that the eclipse is going to wake up the giant. Canadian Farm said, did you just give Kyle permission to talk to my wife? Kyle has open permission to talk to my wife because that's how Kyle gets permission to play with me on the internet. It's a value for value exchange, folks. I talk about it all the time. Value for value. Kyle wants the value of interacting with me, and he provides value to my wife by sending her farm pictures because she no longer has any farm animals. As long as he doesn't send her the horsetail, I don't care. And even if he does, like, with the stroke of a finger, Corey could go on the internet and see all the cock she wants. All the roosters, all the chickens, all the pigs, all the horses. I trust my wife. Always have, always will. From day one, I told her if there's ever a reason you don't want to be around me, if there's ever a reason you don't want to be near me, if there's ever a reason you don't want to be together, let me know and we'll figure it out. And if that means we split ways and we go the other way, that's the way it is. We both came out of shitty relationships when we met, and that was the rule from day one, and it's worked fantastic because we don't worry about each other. We're just honest. Just honest. Backwoods says Corey's the reason that Kyle has so many dogs on her TikTok. And the fact that Corey may or may not have a brother named Kyle, and that would just be really weird. So he's the safest one for her to talk to. Anyway, Giants alarm clock, guys. Giants alarm clock. I'm not sure I'm believing that it's the Giants anymore. I have a new TikTok eclipse theory brought to me by someone over on TikTok yesterday. It's not going to wake up the Giants. The TikTok theory says if you look at the X where the eclipse is crossing, and you look at the New Madrid fault line in the United States, you know, the big one in the center, You know, you got the San Andreas over on California, that when that goes off, California goes bye-bye, and we all got oceanfront in Arizona. Oh, I saw that too. She talked about the doomsday map. She talked about Bill Gates buying property, Bezos buying property, all this shit. The doomsday map. We'll probably have to continue that on another day. But anyway, New Madrid fault line runs right there, kind of by the Mississippi River, edge of Tennessee, stuff like that. Did Elon provide the X? No. So this X is, and how she put it on TikTok, this X is close to the other one. It's close enough, guys. Close enough for, eclipses and shit. The eclipse is going to trigger the New Madrid fault. And it's not only the eclipse, because the eclipse, she couldn't really connect the dots for me why the eclipse would cause an earthquake. And I'm still trying to figure out why the eclipse will cause cell phone and GPS outages. Doesn't the moon go around the earth all the time? And do we get our cell phone coverage from the sun? Oh, backwoods. Yeah, I forgot to mention that too. Bill Gates owns like a third of that property that's on fire in Texas, by the way. Interesting. Anyway, the eclipse isn't enough to trigger the New Madrid fault. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. We're not only having the eclipse, but sometime in April, when the eclipse, I guess, is supposed to happen April 8th. Sometime in April, we will also be visited by the Devil Comet. Now, this thing is real. That's the thing about all these stories on TikTok. They do have threads of truth. They do have verifiable information. And they may just weave them together and make a tapestry of kind of truth and kind of, well, let's just assume. The Devil Comet is supposed to go near the Earth. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Devil Comet. The Devil Comet is this really wicked comet that is made up of explosive material, like volcano type explosive. And every time it gets near the sun, it gets hot and it triggers these explosions and it starts exploding. It causes all weird type of shit. It appears that every time that, and it's the reason is the Devil Comet is every time that it goes past the Earth, weird shit happens. Cataclysmic events, like huge volcanic eruptions on islands, killing 35,000 people in the mid 1800s. There are records of every time this thing gets close to Earth, weird shit happens. Like, let's think about it. There's like this big, weird, explosive magnetic energy thing shooting by the Earth, shooting shit at us and exploding. And you never know. And so this thing's supposed to come about in April. Now, this is where the tapestry was woven, because she's like, the eclipse is April 8th and the Devil Comet's coming in April. She never really said when the Devil Comet's coming, and I believe it's further in April, it's later in April. I think she really struggled to make you feel that it's coming the same day. And that the eclipse, while dark, the Devil Comet's going to fly through the darkness and make the New Madrid fault and the San Andreas fault crack. The doomsday map is going to come to life. and we're all going to be underwater. Chris Dixon says, can we pay more taxes to make it go? Of course you can pay more taxes to make it go away. We need to pay the more taxes so we can get Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck into a spaceship so they can go up and drill a hole into the Devil Comet and make it blow up even more than it's already blowing up, so then it doesn't make the earthquakes happen. Backwoods says, you mean the lady in the PJ pants had a tough time talking about geology? Weird. Space Force. We have a Space Force, guys. We have a Space Force. I don't know. I'm waiting for the show. I am waiting for the show. I want the lights to go out and the Devil Comet to come screaming by with Ted Nugent just blaring in the background, cat scratch fever maybe, and it's just shooting off. It's shooting off volcanoes from the Devil Comet. The Earth starts shaking. I told Corey we're in enough proximity of the New Madrid fault that if she rolls, we'll probably feel it here. And she says, well, we won't even notice. It'll just be like Norman wrestling in the camper. Like, great. I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna watch the Devil Comet and wait and wait. I don't know. Oh. One Take Records says, I don't even know if I could read this. I guess it is Conspiracy Friday. The EDM shows are training the Space Force. He's not kidding. They're recruiting there, getting them comfortable with laser crossfire. What'd you do yesterday, Brian? How did you spend your extra day yesterday, guys? Did you get a lot done? Anyway, Brian, I don't know. Did you hear me earlier? You need to check your DMs. I have a very important message for you on Telegram that you need to read. It reminds me of another small business that I set up. Dixon says, hey, Ricky, put on Freebird, man. Mike's home said the Devil Comet's coming March 22nd. She didn't even have the right fucking the right month. Canadian Farmstead says Brian also put mushrooms in his coffee this morning. Wasn't Seven Sisters. Pip wants to know if we made a TikTok conspiracy channel yet. No, but I think this conversation might be pushing us to do the live. I don't know. Kyle, I'll talk to you later. Oh, guys, we're at we're at hour 3. Gotta get rolling, gotta get this finished up and go into the weekend. If we decide to do a if we decide to do a TikTok live about conspiracies, everybody will know. I'm sure everybody will know. Anyway, guys, I gotta wrap it up. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get some stuff done. I got a bunch to do this weekend. We'll save that list for Monday. Hey, Wired Edge and Ray Wilder, thanks for all stopping in. I appreciate you guys every day. All the comments and the laughs for sure. Also, we'll catch up on the weekend on Monday. We'll wrap it up here. I appreciate all you guys listening. If you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit the like, the share, the subscribe. To return value for value, please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or listening on any value for value platform like Podverse or Fountain.fm. Visit thelotsproject.com to find out more information about me, all the discount codes, partner products and companies and affiliate links and all that jazz. Anyway, guys, have an awesome weekend. Don't get hit by any devil comets or start any wildfires or any of that stuff. Have a good one, guys. We'll talk to you on Monday.